A very warm welcome to the video, guys. Today we're going to be looking at Simon Clarke's ride from the 2023 Australian National Road Cycling Championships, which just took place yesterday, and he rode himself into second position, so got that silver medal. Simon is 36 years of age, quite a light climber slash sprinter, only 64 kilograms. And for some context, this race was held out at Mount Buninyong in Ballarat, and essentially you can see the course here. And if we follow it around, it's basically up and down all day. 16 times up Mount Buninyong, up, down, you know, an average gradient in the realm of around 5% on the climb, with a few sharper sections, of course, in there, and then kind of definitely picking up a fair bit in terms of gradient at the end. Which makes it extremely tough. So let's have a look at his ride and some of the stats around it. So 184.64 kilometers, moving time of 4 hours, 41 minutes. And this is what's impressive. You know, for anyone who finishes this race, there's often, and I think, you know, this year was in no way different, 100 plus starters, literally like 25 finishes in the realm of, I'd have to double check that exactly, but you know, 3/4 of the field dropping out essentially pretty much every year. So 2,906 meters of elevation, a weighted average power, well, this is anyway 285 watts, but regardless, his normalized power was 297 watts, and remember, he is only 64 kilograms. Total work, so calories burnt, 3,977, which gives him around 25 beers that he can enjoy tonight or last night, or over the next week at least. I'm sure 25 beers would probably put you in a coma after that, a race like that. So average speed was 39.4 kilometers an hour. Max was 85.7 kilometers an hour. Heart rate, 146 beats per minute average, and 182 beats per minute at its max. Average cadence of 87, so nice and high. Max cadence of 137. Average power of 235 watts, but remember that normalized was 297. And a max power, which is very good for a 64 kilogram individual, 1,126 watts. Temperature, 29 degrees Celsius, so, and also 23% humidity, so you know, definitely for a few laps around there in those conditions, it would be absolutely fine. But you know, when you're working at the rate that these guys are working at, 16 times up the mountain at this temperature, is definitely going to be taking its toll. So we will have a look now, a bit more of a deep dive analysis at the overall effort. So here you can see the variations in speed. This is not smoothed out at all. This is just real-time data. And obviously, actually, what are we? Yeah, we're not smoothed out. So click that off there so we can see, you know, the variations, and just each lap, the, you know, spike in power that would be happening every time we're going up, and then obviously coming off the gas a little bit, but kind of on and off the gas down the hill, and then consistently on the gas up the hill. So you know, obviously tough out there. So the race was won by Luke Plapp, and then Simon was in second. Michael Matthews was in third. Luke broke away, and the sprint for second and third was between Simon Clarke and Matthews. And here's what's quite impressive here. So peak power, 5 seconds, 990 watts. We go down, you know, 30 seconds, 600, 1 minute, 552, 2 minutes, 472 watts, and then 5 minutes, 420 watts. And what's impressive here is that obviously at 64 kilograms, that is 5 minutes at 6.6 watts per kilo. But again, if you were just going to be going out and doing a 5-minute power test, you probably wouldn't be having an 858 watt spike in there. So that's just, I guess it's just the nature of cycling. You know, I've done a lot of these kind of analyses and overviews on Ironman performances, but at the end of the day, cycling is a whole different kettle of fish. And, you know, it is just on the gas, off the gas, recover, and if you can't recover, you're out the arse. So, you know, very, very different in terms of the systems it requires. And, you know, we can't really take average power as a measure of absolute difficulty of the race, because remember that these guys could average a lot more. You know, he could do a lot more watts for 4-5 hours than 235 or 230 odd. But remember, like, the spikes in power through here, the dynamics of the race are always changing. Sometimes it's going to be super easy sitting in the bunch, other times it's absolutely full gas. So heart rate, and even here during this 5-minute effort, which is up Mount Buninyong, one of the times, his heart rate was as low as 136 beats a minute and got up to 181 beats a minute. So that's like a 45 beat per minute variation during that effort. Average cadence of 96 RPM, and the elevation, of course, was a total of 133 meters during this effort, with a 5.3% gradient and 31 degrees Celsius as well, so quite warm. And if we actually have a look at the analysis of the effort itself, what you will see is that, of course, you know, it's essentially, we're starting here, and you can see that this is the fourth time up Buninyong, but we're starting here for this 5-minute effort, you know, less than probably 30 seconds into it, and we've gone a 858 watt spike in power, and then back down to like 250 watts, and you just see it's up and down, you know, following attacks, making moves, ensuring you're in the right position, and just kind of jostling around for position, and not letting anything get away. And obviously this was his fastest time up the mountain, and he keeps a very high cadence even when climbing, max of 112, average of 96. And then, of course, you know, we've got the heart rate data, 175 beats a minute. But yeah, just like what's super impressive yet again is obviously the watts per kilo. But just the fact that this is done during a race where it's like, you know, if you were just to do a pure 5-minute power test, you're doing a lot better. You know, you wouldn't be going out and spiking the power at the very start and then backing off and then up and down. So, you know, overall, an incredible performance. And I think that, you know, Simon Clarke should be extremely proud of his efforts. I think there's ultimately going to be some disappointment because he was, he proved himself to be the fastest of the two between himself and Michael Matthews. However, you know, Luke Plapp just was too good and too smart in the end. Or, you know, just sometimes it's just the way it goes. The dynamics of the race, you make the right move at the right time. And we saw that the guys sat up there at the end and he rode away with it. So well-deserved win from him. He was struggling early in the race, as the commentary team pointed out, and really kind of picked himself back up. And obviously, you know, I think that's his second national championship. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, you know, a bit of a scattered, but overall, you know, some pretty good data here. I'll link the Strava for anyone who's interested in having a look at Simon Clarke's ride. I think it's great that professional cyclists, triathletes, any athletes really are putting all their stuff up on Strava, because especially with the power and the heart rate data, because it's very transparent. You know, you can't hide that stuff. Well, you can hide it, but if you are showing it, it's showing full transparency. So it's always good to see. And yeah, again, congrats to Simon Clarke. An incredible race, very strong performance, and yeah, that is another Cycling Australia National Championship or National Road Championship out of the way for another year. And until 2024, it will be Luke Plapp wearing that green and gold jersey. So take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave any questions or comments below, and I'll see everyone in the next one.